Okay, welcome back to the Okay Not Okay podcast. I am Dr. OK, and today we wrap up our series on the best of or worst of in a certain statistic. And today we talk about the Iron Men and Iron Women of the WWE in 2024 as we simply add up who has the most televised matches in 2024. So just like we've done for the other videos, we will just count them down 5 to 1 in each category. Now for the tag teams, we did something a little bit different this time. Instead of counting individuals, this time we went with the actual tag teams, and specifically the tag teams had to have just the 2 members in a certain match. If it were a 6-person tag in which there were 3 members on a team, that did not count. It had to be just 2 members in a team. Now it could be a 6-person tag with 3 teams or an 8-person tag with 4 teams, but as long as only the 2 people together were competing, that counted. If it was anything more than that, it did not count. So let's get to it, and let's start with the Raw men. And now this is for all matches, not just singles matches, not just tag matches, but all combined matches. So let's start with number 5, and it is Damian Priest. He has 20 total matches and is 15-5 in those. So obviously he had a good run as a tag team champion to begin the year, and most recently just wrapped it up with a World Heavyweight Championship run. So pretty good so far, and he's had 2 straight matches against his former Judgment Day members the last 2 weeks. So it looks like he'll have plenty more matches to go. And speaking of Priest, he was actually number 1 last year with 51 total matches. So he is no stranger to getting into the ring to compete. In a 2-way tie for 3rd place, we then have Jey Uso and Finn Balor with 20 matches each. Uso is at 16-6, while Balor is under 500 at 10-12, which is a little surprising considering he has 2 different reigns with the Tag Team Championships in 2024. Well, in 2nd place is his current tag team partner, and that is JD McDonough with 1 more match at 23 total matches. However, even though he is the champion, he has not had much success at all with just a 6-17 overall record. Really, really bad. But I guess he's got the gold right now, so that is good enough. And at number 1, he was your Intercontinental Champion, defeating Gunther at WrestleMania to stop his 666-day streak. But he just got stopped twice by Braun Breaker. It is Sami Zayn. He leads all of WWE with 24 matches and a pretty impressive 15-9 overall record. Now it looks like he'll be going over to the tag side soon here with Jey to take on Balor and McDonough. So perhaps the 4 of them will continue to run away with the lead in this ranking. Well, with that, let's go to the SmackDown men's side. And in a tie for 5th place, we have Johnny Gargano and Grayson Waller with 17 matches each. Gargano is 8-1, while Waller is 6-11. Then we have a 3-way tie for 2nd place. Now the first 2 of those make a lot of sense. It is Tommaso Ciampa and Austin Theory as the tag team partners for the 2 men tied for 5th place. And Ciampa is at 10-7-1, while Theory is at 6-11-1. The other person they're tied with is the Viper, Randy Orton. He's got a 9-8-1 record in his 18 matches. And leading the way on SmackDown, it is your new United States Champion, LA Knight. He's got 19 total matches and is 12-6-1. And let's note, amongst the men, he is the only current singles champion of the 4 to be in the top 5. Alright, now for Raw men's tag team matches. In a tie for 5th place, we have the Creed brothers and Vinci and Kaiser with 7 apiece. Neither team was very successful, with the Creed brothers at 2-5 and Vinci and Kaiser at 1-5-1. And of course, the latter 2 were so unsuccessful that they are no longer a team as Vinci was kicked out of Imperium. Well, we have a three-way tie for second place with 10 matches each, and that is The New Day, the Authors of Pain, and The Awesome Truth. And The New Day is the least successful of that group right now at 3-5-1. The Authors of Pain are at 5-5, and The Awesome Truth is at 7-3, which makes the most sense since they were your winners of the tag team titles at WrestleMania. And in first place, it's a kind of surprising one with 13 total matches and an 8-5 record. It is the new Catch Republic. And we know that Tyler Bate has been injured for quite a while now, so they did a great job having a bunch of matches and mostly winning them early on in the year. So hopefully those two can be back together before long, but we will need Bate to recover. For the SmackDown men's tag teams, at number 5, we have Pretty Deadly with 8 total matches, but not very successful at 1-7. Maybe they'll be more successful getting their musical to hit the stage. In a tie for third place, we have Legado del Fantasma, which is specifically Angel and Berto in this case. They are 3-6 for 9 total matches, and the Street Profits just a tick better at 4-5. In second place, it is the former tag champions A-Town Down Under. They've got 11 matches for a 5-6 record. And in number 1, it is DIY with 14 total matches. They are 8-5-1. Now we of course want to note that all 4 men in those 2 tag teams made the SmackDown total matches list. So a lot of overlap right there. Now let's go over to the women's side where things get really crazy. So in 5th place for total matches, we have Caden Carter with 15 total matches, but a not very impressive 3-12 record. So in 4th place, that means with just one more match, we have Katana Chance with 16 matches, and therefore a slightly worse record of 3-13. Well, that's just the way it goes, and now we have Katana trying to get over a broken nose, so we may not see them very much, unfortunately, for several weeks. Okay, at number 3, from Damage Control, we have Kairi Sane. She's had 17 total matches and is at 8-1. In second place, Shayna Baszler. She's got 22 matches and is 10-12. Now, what I really want to point out here, the 4 people that we just mentioned, they have 0 total singles wins so far in 2024. That's right, Carter, Chance, Sane, Baszler, 0 singles wins. Well, when we get to first place, it gets a little bit better. It is Zoe Stark. She is at 23 total matches and is over 500 at 12-11. And she has 2 total singles wins. So it pretty much is that you're in tag matches if you're on Monday Night Raw, if you actually want to have a bunch of matches. Now, of course, Rhea Ripley was injured for quite a while, and Becky Lynch has been nowhere to be seen for quite a while, so that makes it a little tough. And so if we want to go to 6th place, it would be Liv Morgan. She has 13 total matches at 7-6. So she missed most of a month in January when she just returned at the Royal Rumble, and she is more about chasing Dom than getting in the ring for matches, so who knows how we will do here. But as far as a true singles competitor, none of them are in the top 5. Well, let's go to the SmackDown women. We have a 5-way tie for 4th place with Chelsea Green, Indy Hartwell, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax, and Jade Cargill. All of them have 16 total matches. And then we get to 3rd place with Naomi with 17 matches, 7-8-2. I was surprised that Naomi's had that many matches. It feels like she hasn't really been involved in a lot lately after an early title shot right after WrestleMania. So I guess she's just been picking up random matches here and there to kind of up that total. So good for her with having 17 matches. In 2nd place, we have Candice LeRae just ahead with 18 matches, and she is a mere 6-12. But in 1st place, it should come as no surprise, Bianca Belair leads with a 20-match record of 15-5. And surprisingly enough to me, Bayley, nowhere to be found on this list. She would be slightly below with 14 total matches. Okay, so let's go to the tag teams for the women. First on the Raw side, at 5th place, we have Ivy Dow and Maxine Dupree. Well, I guess after what we saw on Raw just a couple days ago, we're not gonna see those two tag anymore, as Maxine was left on top of the announce table due to Ivy's attack. Nonetheless, they had 4 matches together and were 1 and 3. In 4th place, we have the unholy union of Fire and Dawn. Amazingly, just ahead of Ivy and Maxine, they only have 5 total matches. They are only 2 and 3, but yet they are your women's tag team champions. Amazing that they can barely crack the top 5 of Raw's tag teams. Well, let's go to 3rd place. It's the Kabuki Warriors. They've had 7 total matches and are 5-1 and 1, which of course this is Kairi Sane and Asuka, and of course Asuka has been out with an injury for several months now, so hopefully she'll be able to make a return very soon and they can climb back up this rankings. But we'll see if Kairi can win back those tag team championships with Io Sky instead. In 2nd place, we have Carter and Chance with 11 tag matches. They are just 3 and 8, even though they were tag champs way back in January. And of course, as we said, Chance is injured right now with that broken nose, so we may not see them for a little while. Hopefully they'll be back sooner than later. And lastly, in 1st place, 13 total matches at 9 and 4, it is the Pure Fusion Collective of Stark and Baszler. They didn't need Sonya, and they really didn't need this name, but it's at least a name, so maybe that's an improvement. However, they've got another shot to win the tag titles coming up, so maybe they can finally get it done with a little help from Sonya Deville. Okay, now lastly on the SmackDown Women's Tag side, we have a 3-way tie for 4th. It is quite an illustrious group of Bayley and Michin, Bayley and Naomi, and Nia and Tiffany, all of which have had 1 match together. That's right, we only have 3 actual tag teams, like we've been saying, so these were just kind of thrown together teams, and they all just have 1 match. So, what can you do? We need some more tag matches. Okay, so let's go to 3rd place. We've got Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. They've got 6 total matches and are just 2 and 4. In 2nd place, our dominant duo of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, 8 total matches. They are 7 and 1, and of course we know they were not pinned in that 1 loss. They should be getting another tag title shot instead of anyone from the Raw side, but I guess we're just gonna have to keep waiting. Alright, so at number 1, we have Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell leading the pack with 11 tag matches, though not nearly as successful as they are 4 and 7. So I just want to mention this again. We simply don't get nice things here. Simply not enough tag teams at all, especially on the SmackDown side. And when most of those tag team competitors show up on these lists, both on the Raw side and on the SmackDown side, 5 of those 6 actual tag teams made it onto the total match list. We need more singles matches for the women on both brands. It is really ridiculous. That's why we can't have mid-card titles for the women right now. That's why we can barely even have women's tag teams with a team that doesn't even compete ever to make the list, to only get the 4th most matches on Raw as your tag team champions for multiple months now. Just truly astounding. Let's get some more women's matches. Come on, let's make it happen. Nonetheless, that's your list of the Iron Men and Iron Women of the WWE so far through this week's Monday Night Raw, when we've had 33 total Raws, 32 total SmackDowns, and 9 premium live events. So, you know, we're doing all right. We're getting there to the end of the year. We'll check in on this yet again at the end, probably in January, to see how things shook out. But for now, that's what we've got. And let's again, more women's matches, folks. More women's matches. I'm Dr. OK, and this has been the OK Not OK podcast.